So this paper that was published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience is based on the clinical outcomes of 100 cases of patients with Tourette Syndrome and other tic disorders who were treated with infra-low frequency neurofeedback. So this paper is rather interesting because they highlight the fact that the majority of these patients didn't respond favorably to standardized treatments such as medication, psychotherapy, academic support, or counseling for parents. And I think personally in clinical practice, I would say that this is quite standard, particularly in cases such as chronic pain or non-epileptic seizures. ILF neurofeedback seems to be incredibly effective even in cases where other modalities, other standard modalities, may not have yielded the best results. So the authors highlight two major models for understanding and approaching Tourette syndrome, which unsurprisingly maps to the theoretical basis of ILF neurofeedback. So the first is dysregulation. Tics represent a regulatory deficit. So specifically, arousal dysregulation alters the stability of motor circuits, which reduces inhibitory control. And this also increases the likelihood that internally generated urges are released as motor output. And this is why we often see increases in tics that also accompany heightened anxiety, for example. The second is cerebral instabilities. So the instability model is addressed in this paper due to the episodic nature of tics. So the fluctuation in tic frequency and also sometimes in severity is linked to what we call neural excitability. When excitability in motor network rises, the threshold for movement is essentially lowered and internally generated urges are more likely to be expressed as tics. And equally, as excitability decreases, those same urges can be successfully inhibited. And this explains why tics naturally wax and wane. They reflect a system that is essentially dynamically crossing in and out of stability. In terms of the outcomes, following approximately 30 to 40 sessions of ILF neurofeedback, the average reduction of symptoms was 45%, and 90% of clients improved by 35% or more. Along with the reduction of tics, the authors also noted improvements in anxiety, in perfectionism, obsessiveness, and focus. And I think that this highlights a recurring theme in the practice of neurofeedback, and that is that regulating the brain can go a long way beyond simply a reduction of tics.